Hi! This time I'm not going to really be doing a Rocky-related video, and some of you might be thinking, well then why are you still wearing the wig? Because if I didn't wear the wig, someone would go, I interfere and he wears the wig. Well, whatever. So, what I'm going to do this time is, I always wanted to make a video series where I just showed off weird and interesting articles from my music collection. So we're going to put Rocky aside for just this video, and take a look into Magenta's bag of music swag. Now, I've picked out 10 items that I find especially interesting, and I'm just going to show them to you. Now, our first item this time is the vinyl of They Might Be Giants' first album. Now, you'll notice it is signed, and what's especially odd about this is that it's signed by Danny Weinkauf, who, if you know the band, wasn't actually in the band when they made this album. But at that concert, he was the only one signing, so I just took what I could get. Now, this one is especially appropriate since it is Halloween. This is the original withdrawn cover of Michael Jackson's Ben, and I guess after a week or so, they realized that Michael's face sticking out of an angry rat stampede wasn't going to sell an album. So most copies you see don't have the rats on the bottom, but if you are that big of a Michael Jackson collector, this one's not too hard to find either. Now, here's something especially interesting if you are a Beatles fan. Now, a lot of Beatles fans will be familiar with the compilation Rock and Roll Music, sort of a bad cash-in that came out in the 70s. Well, this is actually the French edition of it, and if you're familiar with the album, you'll know that there was Volume 1 and Volume 2. Uniquely, this one actually has a Volume 3. Now, it's just John Lennon's rock and roll album given a new title, but, you know, it's a nice set to have. It's not something I've ever seen more than once, and, you know, the cover art's pretty cool, so if you are a Beatles collector and you're into weird foreign stuff, it's worth picking up. Yes, well, many of you will be familiar with the album Whipped Cream by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. Well, this is the male version, Spaghetti Sauce. Oh yeah, and speaking of the Beatles, this is the closest I will ever get to owning a Butcher album. These were actually turned out wholesale by a fan a few years ago, and at the time you could actually get them for about $20. Now, the record inside is a legitimate record. It was a mono copy of the album, but it was on orange vinyl, so it didn't really look that legit. So I eventually hunted down a mono copy of Yesterday and Today to put that in the cover instead. Just made it a little more realistic. Look, just in case any of you need obligatory Rocky content here, I'm sure like 99% of you own this. It cost me like $5. Well, here's something I just got that I've been hunting for quite a long time. This is the original bootleg edition of the Beach Boys' Smile album. Now, compared to a lot of versions of this album that came later, it's pretty horrible. I mean, there's a song on here that isn't even the Beach Boys, period. You know, there's a lot of songs that are mislabeled. Everything is just bad quality. But, you know, for historical value, you know, if you are a Smile collector like me, it is great to have. And speaking of Smile swag, this is the Good Vibrations Heroes and Villains double 78 RPM set that was released for Record Store Day around the time that the Smile Sessions box set came out. And while we're on the topic of unreleased albums, this is the fan-made soundtrack to the incredibly bad TV special 33 1/3 Revolutions per Monkey. And I assure you, hearing this music and not actually seeing the horrible special doesn't make it any better. And finally, for this edition, the Beatles bootleg that I hunted for about 10 years, found it at a fairly reasonable price. Most people just hold on to it because of the cover. This gem, which was released in Australia, and as you can see, parodies the US edition of Help. Content-wise, it's pretty terrible, just bad quality live material from the Help era. But as you can see, the cover is just awesome. So yes, that's the first look into my bag of music swag. Maybe I'll do more, maybe I won't. I still have plenty to show. And I do mean records. But for now, keep watching these videos, and please subscribe to this channel because I will just love you so much that it makes me cry. It just makes me weep. And anyway, bye.